Yes, so gather around and listen, everyone. I guess I need to put the microphone up. I can't walk. We have a tale to tell. I'm going to start off with a little story, I guess mythology, if you will, from the ancient Greeks. I remember when I was a really young humanist, this was a story that really connected with me. It was the story of the Titan Prometheus, who was pissed off with the gods, and so he shared the flame with the humans. In this particular case, he was kind of mad at Zeus, and he gave them this fire that was supposed to represent change and civilization. Kind of coming out of the barbarism of the past to kind of spite the gods, as it were. It was always, I thought that was like a really ennobling thing, despite the fact that it was mythology. I know we're all kind of secular here, but it was a good story. I thought it captured. It's a good analogy for what I'm going to try and lay out for you in the rest of the talk. So as Austin was saying during his statement earlier, this is kind of like my first pass at getting into like what the class might be like. So today I don't think I'm going to get through nearly as much because I've only got 20 or 30 minutes. So I'm probably not going to get as much to the later stuff as I hoped as I was like timing my speech out. But on further ado, so one of the things that, as Austin was referencing, that makes humanism, I feel like, conceptually difficult for a lot of people to understand in like a simple way is that there are so many different versions of it. So we have, like in modern times we have like actual organizations that stand for humanism, but going into the past, we kind of see echoes of what is to come. And that's like what I call, I think I stole this from James Roth too, maybe a lot of him coming up in these lectures. He uses the term proto-humanist. So they're not, they wouldn't claim this title back in the day, but you can kind of see, if you squint hard enough, where later philosophers, later scientists would come and develop on that to get to the humanism that we know today. So we're going to talk about a lot of ancient Greeks today. I'm going to try and tone down, as we have children here, the thing, but it's ancient Greeks, they got up to a lot of shenanigans. Yes, so yeah, we're gonna go hang out with Hedonism Bob over here. Hang out with some ancient Greeks for now. We're gonna start off. Okay, now this guy is not at all proto-humanist. And the reason why I've got a bunch of question marks on here is because this guy, someone should call up Disney and make a movie about this story. Because Pythagoras, we all know Pythagoras' theorem, right? He was involved in math, Pythagorean theorem, he played D&D, probably used it as your table, calculated that flying monster, but neither here nor there. But he was an extreme character, had a cult that he founded, we're with him basically as the messianic figure. If you ever heard about that, he is important for the story. He's kind of like, in my opinion, like the bad guy in our story of humanism. He contributed a lot of ideas that a lot of later Greeks, like Plato and Aristotle, picked up, that I would argue the Christians then picked up and used for a lot of their metaphysics. So, we have him to blame. Like I said, crazy story. I was trying to get into it. He even, supposedly in his life, he was this cult that he was part of. It was like a mystery cult. So if you're familiar with like the ancient Greek mystery and Roman mystery cults, you were like bound to secrecy within the group. Someone apparently shared the secrets of mathematics to a non-member, and he killed someone for it, supposedly. But he's got, and then as the tales grow with him, he, basically got mythologized into a figure that, the scholars, why I had all those question marks, was like, the scholars were like, yeah, we don't know what's real and what's fake. That being said, one of the first people that I would call an early proto-humanist that you can kind of see has influenced us down to this day was Democritus. His big theory, some of his big theories had to do with, basically what we would call atomic theory nowadays. I'm sure he didn't call it that back then. But basically, he was responding to Pythagoras, who had this idea about the world being unchanging, and that change that you thought you saw was just an illusion. So a lot of the early humanists were responding to this thing, saying, no, there is actually a real world out there that changes. We think it works because there's these tiny, indivisible parts. Nowadays, we would call it chemistry and physics. They didn't have the advantages of modern technology, so I'm not actually going to get into his exact theories because, he did good for his time back, 2,500 years ago. But then this other idea that I always found kind of poetic, and kind of why I chose, a little bit of why I chose the reading that I did, was this idea of the void. So that was another one that was very much a reaction against Pythagoras. And obviously they had ideas about the world, the world being the center of the universe and all that. This was kind of like an early way of saying, no, we think, the universe has always been here, that there was no beginning, it's an eternal place. So he was very much arguing against Pythagoras and a lot of what become Christian ideas about, God creating the universe. He had his own, Pythagoras had his own version of, the gods or whatever. It wasn't a Christian one, but it was still very much like, he thought there was something out there doing creating. So I'm not going to get into physics. I'm totally not qualified to talk about that topic at all, but suffice to say. But the other thing I really liked about him that was very humanistic in my mind was he had this idea in ethics about being cheerful in the face of adversity being like one of his core virtues. And I think a lot of that has carried on down through the ages as we've developed more of a humanistic ethic. Being cheerful in the face of the void. If anybody who's familiar with a lot of video games, this guy's name is Zeratul, and his whole shtick, he's kind of emo, but that was very much his thing, because he was facing down this really big threat in the universe, in the void, but he did it, in the sense of if I die, so what? I'm just going to go back to the void. That's kind of what I'm trying to get at here is a lot of these ideas from the philosophers have crept into our modern pop culture stuff. I'm going to have all sorts of examples of cool tie-ins, a lot of people don't know about, philosophers, but they probably exposed to what means. I don't think we give them credit for things like video games and movies or transmitting ideas across time. So that actually is cynics. I don't think he would have considered himself, a humanist, but he did a lot of interesting criticisms of the time. And so his thing is he was about poverty, and he used it as a way to criticize the other philosophers, the other the rich people that were around. He was very much basically he was radical. Got into a lot of trouble, was exiled from his father and homeland. But the big ideas from him that I thought, kind of carried through the human now this idea of living in tune to nature. I think he kind of commits a little bit of a naturalistic fallacy oftentimes when he, does this. So the famous story that he did was he only had one possession. His sole possession was a bowl that he would use to beg for money or use it to, get water out of a stream. He saw a little boy one day in the stream, and he grabbed up this little poster and used his hands to drink the water, and he realized that he wasn't living in accordance with nature because he was using a tool. So like I said, think it's a natural fallacy, but that's how it shows you how extreme it is. He busted his bull up, it's totally against nature. Not gonna do it. And yeah, you use this as like a bludgeoning tool against other, philosophers and stuff, like, criticize their not living in accordance with nature. Very much, I feel like if Diogenes was in the 21st century with us, he would probably hang out with a bunch of monks. Either that or was like a dude, doesn't care about everything, he just wanted to grow back, Now this one's my favorite. Epicurus, I feel like, is probably the culmination. So the several last that I showed you, he's probably like the culmination of a lot of those early ideas developed a little bit. So he had his own version of materialistic theory. Now, I would argue as a humanist that this materialism and modernism, this idea of materialism, is like such a foundational idea of humanism. The universe is known by us. It's a real thing. We're not looking at shadows. We're not bringing that. We're not in the cave, Plato's cave. He was very big on this idea of materialism. And then we're not going to unfortunately get to a lot of the later philosophers that he influenced, but basically it's a who's who philosophers from the Enlightenment, the Renaissance, modern day, who owe their ideas to his thing. So, one of the reasons why I brought up hedonism is nowadays we have this notion of hedonism as extreme excess of living in a way that's overconsumption, moving to extremes, pleasures to extremes. Epicurus had this little defined notion of hedonism, and it's very much reminds me of live better, part of our slogan. He basically talks about hedonism as encourages people to try things, to be open to new experiences, but do it in moderation. I kind of feel like now that I'm kind of learning information for me, we connect with Epicurus, because when I was in my 20s, I used to go out and all sorts of crazy stuff, but not this is like a midlife philosophy, not the same kind of thing. The other big idea that I don't think we're probably going to do today, but the big idea that's been around for longer than most people think is the idea of evolution. They didn't have the science to back it up, they didn't understand the mechanism of it, but they had an idea about how things evolved came back with the ancients. I think I'd be good person, but I'm not a scholar on this, but I've heard even the basics might go back to ancient Egypt, but I'm not very good. Then the last thing I wanted to point out was he was one of the philosophers that had an idea, basically, I would call it a congregation. He called it a garden. It was a place for people to gather in community with, friends, family, loved ones. It wasn't about, it pretty much is, when people are telling you, churches to provide community and stuff like that. That's just patently wrong. There are philosophers, I think this is the earliest example that I've come across, and there's early examples of, philosophers basically arguing for congregation. But he was one of the early ones that basically said, we need a place to gather and practice, our humanism, to talk about materialism, and talk about ethics. You have all these people that have their own version of ethics, and I was going to get into the ethics because one of the criticisms of most of the ancient Greeks is, they were still of their time. They were misogyny all around. Slavery was common practice in this degree. So the point of the criticize is kind of giving you the good parts. So going back to the example of, my mythology example of using Prometheus. These are people carrying flame, but I'm kind of like the rogue in the party who steal all the good ideas and criticize as well as good ideas. Trying to break it down. It's the same thing as a positive. So we take the time and the same side, right? Allows the convention. But they don't say this cosmology basically are for universal sets of justice and ethics. They believe in doctrines saying that, like good and bad is not subjective, it's not others. It shows scriptures for parents and justice and ethics. But they did not they should apply ethics is why I'm saying it's possible. That's kind of what we are here. Another reason my background is not studying a lot of psychology. I was in school, they did get some self-assessment. So like there's a lot of suffering from problems in the world. So I told her to appreciate that stories kind of what you can, but try not to worry about big stuff. That's what communities do. We can do a lot more together. Modern day therapists trying to help you regulate your emotions and stuff like that. That kind of thing. Cognitive behavior is very much based on these things. Sorry about this. Yeah, you can't control it. That's the whole. Alright, now this one took me a really long time to wrap my mind around. So my first slide is approach of the ethno-historical approach and cultural philosophical approach. This is very two by two from the Neoconfucians. And this guy is basically synthesizes a lot of big ideas from earlier traditions. But human and try to call together to create a faith with understanding of humanity. Humanism is like starts to see the God helps differentiate between historical analysis and practice because there's all there's a lot of science change. Is like he's not I feel like really sees so many blind spots, so many solutions, and it's something that we have to wrestle with because it is there are a lot of other students that you have this idea of the effects of humanity and it needs to address these in terms of the history. So that's what we're talking about the ability to differentiate between criticizing the past versus understanding. Again, this idea of understanding the historical sources of Russian. And that's kind of really talking about the great disease. And lots of courses that they had in the 1986, as much as it's just the place that they got ideas. So he's trying to join in trying to keep ideas, incorporate them into our modern world. And then because it really supported lots of said his idea of brand is basically a work of really hard to write patients who just have very issues that like every scholars have and so the meanings of this thing is going to change over time. Very much try to keep these steps. Person, which is like formal practice. Practice philosophy is important, but it should be subject to always respect humanity. Very good style of contribution. Again, after the tragedy that befell these Hmong humanists with the invasion of the Mongols. And then, like I said, this is a I'm gonna end here, but very much, the defining characteristic of modern humanism, I think, really starts when you get to Darwin and Wallace. It basically provides us our origin story. I'm not going to get into it here, but Darwin's one of my favorite scientists. So you can have tattoo on my foot. Oops. So like I said, we'll get into those. I'll call that part 2, or maybe if we get this class up and running. Sorry, guys. So these are, eventually I was trying to lead into the 6 commitments. I stole this straight from James Croft. He did a really good job of basically distilling down all the humanist manifestos into these 6 points. Basically, be humble in your striving for knowledge. Always have like a provisional approach. Don't ever be too certain. The naturalistic commitment, very much going back to that idea of Diogenes there, where we need to respect nature. We are part of nature as part of Darwin's contribution. We are not separate from nature. We're not above nature. We are nature. Ethical commitment. So obviously this is where we put into practice our we're worrying about justice and what does justice mean, making sure it's applied fairly to everyone. Self-actualization, so it's kind of like my forte actually, like what can we do to better ourselves? Try and help, very much, we feel better when we help each other, right? Like it's a lot easier to strive to your best self when you have other people to help you. Basically kind of the idea of it, most people know Maslow's hierarchy. I prefer a different model, but more for another time. Social commitment. This is very much the living in congregation with others. So these two are kind of related. It's hard to self-actualize if you don't have the social support around you to make it happen, because we are such a social species. And then, last is the justice commitment. So making sure we fight for our values out in the public sphere. So, thank you, everyone. Yeah. Questions? I could have kept going on for, like 3 weeks, so. John?
I can share a short anecdote for Diogenes that I always found a good reference point for the corporate world.
Yeah.
And that's where a rich person was walking along and came upon Diogenes and his girl. Oh yeah, and he said, and Diogenes is sitting there eating lentils, and the rich person eats good food. And the rich person says to Diogenes, Diogenes, if you would just learn to suck up and kiss ass, you wouldn't have to sit there and eat lentils. And Diogenes says, you know what, Diogenes? If you would just learn to eat lentils, you wouldn't have to suck up and kiss ass.
Yeah, I think I heard a similar version of that story where it was with Alexander the Great.
Yeah.
Comes along and tries to tempt him. Like, hey, what do you want? And he's just like, get out of my son. So, any other questions? Or are people getting hungry yet? Well, welcome Austin back up to the stage.
Yeah, of course, as I